Boom, baby, we are live. Welcome to Interview with a Man, episode 661. We're going to talk about you must forgive those who hurt you for your inner game. It's going to be an unpopular topic that I want to talk about today. And today's beef culture. I got beef, dog. Oh, Lord have mercy. Anyways, don't forget, we got a big thing coming up for you here on June 29th. Guys, we're 9 days away. 9 days away from the Inner Game Healing Summit going live on June 29th. Take a look here and pay attention because this stuff is the most important stuff. I'm going to be very honest with you. If you do want to get women in your life and you want to get a quality woman, you have to be right in your heart. You got to be right in your mind before any of that happens. And if you don't, your failure is guaranteed. All right. Let me clearly make that very, 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 very clearly to you, gentlemen and ladies who are maybe watching. But this is for men only. The Inner Game Healing Summit is for men only. Okay. Take a look here, and I'm going to be addressing everybody in the chat. We're going to have a very interactive conversation today. Okay. Pay attention here and listen to this important message brought to you today by the Inner Game Healing Summit.
Hi, this is MLD, and I'm the leader of the Masculine Empowerment Network. And I'm here today with a very special message with you in regards of the recent situations that have happened to me, my community, and my image here on the internet. As many of you know, I was recently a victim of a baseless cyber attack from a group of hate-filled individuals that tried to paint me in a negative light in order to damage the work that I do for the men in my community and the men of my world every single day since I started live streaming in 2019. Thankfully, all of their lies and manipulation have been disproven by me and the men within my organization. These critics are now permanently silent. However, I'm going to be very honest with you. During this time, my mental health did take a hit. For weeks, I received slanderous comments, death threats, nasty, nasty, nasty direct messages from so many people on so many platforms all over my social media and anywhere I was going. This is commonly known as cyberbullying, and it was a terrible experience to go through. On a daily basis, I could feel my anxiety rising, my stress rising, a creeping feeling of self-doubt lingering in the back of everything I did. And overall, it was just not a good experience to go through. As many of you know, right now, we're in the middle of a cultural war. And as a leader in this movement, it is up to me to be strong. And thankfully, I have a group of experts in my community that specialize in mental health. And with their support, I was able to get through this awful time in my life and continue to bring the value to the community that I have built online, which is based around one thing and one thing only: helping men. I am not online to be popular. I am not online to gain favor with anybody. My message is very pure, and that is the message of self-improvement, specifically targeting the audience of men like you watching at home right now. Without the support group that I have cultivated over the years, I definitely know that it would have been way harder for me to get through this awful time. But I have emerged triumphant, and I'm here today to let you know that you do not have to be alone either. I know that the average man is a victim of today's mainstream narrative, which is constantly focused around one thing and one thing only: tearing men down. You see it on the news, you see it on social media, you see it in video games, music, movies, dramas. Everywhere you go, they are just focused on tearing men down with their hate-filled agenda. And men are losing hope today because they have no support system, they have no self-esteem, and everywhere they go, they're being victimized simply for the fact that they are men. This is absolutely having a devastating effect on the average male in today's Western population. And you can see it when you take a look at the average man around you. Anxiety, depression, feelings of hopelessness, and a general sense of giving up on life, choosing a life of leisure, drugs, addiction, and many, many, many more dark vices have become commonplace for the average man to delude himself in, to escape from the daily psychological attacks he receives from the moment he wakes up on every single platform available. This is devastating. It is not good, and it must stop. This is why I have created the Inner Game Healing Summit. In Q1 of this year, we had over 260 men join our community with the unified goal of strengthening our mental health together as men in this hostile modern world against men. This community is designed to help men strengthen their mind, understand the foundations of good psychological practices to engage in on a daily basis in order to give them a very sound mind in today's crazy world. And more importantly, it's a network of men coming together, supporting each other and lifting each other up in a very positive manner to help each individual man achieve the goals that he has set up for his life, no matter what this hostile mainstream narrative tries to do against that man. This recent attack against me only made me stronger in my beliefs. And that's why on June 29th, we are opening the Inner Game Healing Summit for a very special edition. And this 3-part program is going to help men like you achieve the mental health goals that you desire. The first part is our live virtual workshops. These virtual workshops can be attended by you at the convenience of wherever you are, as long as you have an internet connection. Secondly, we will be providing you with a video course that allows you to understand the principles of mental health, and you can go at your own pace at home, at the office, on vacation, wherever you like, as long as you have an internet connection. You'll have lifetime access to this, so it will be no problem for you to go back and review this, which I do highly encourage. And finally, you'll get access to a Telegram chat that already has 250 plus live members in it right now to help you on your journey of recovery. With direct access to me and leaders in my community, this is set up for you to win. Together with these tools, I believe that we can help the modern man in this hostile environment that attacks him and his mental health every single day. That's why I'm proud to present this special edition of the Inner Game Healing Summit. On June 29th, join me for the Inner Game Healing Summit. Endure. Thank you.
All right. So we are going to talk about that here real quick, guys. Don't forget the upcoming event has a 5-day window for you to sign up for. Okay. So do me a favor. Go right now. Stop what you're doing. Go to innergamehealing.com because I really want to help you guys out. This community is great. We have such a great community going on right now. And the chat is live and well. Go to innergamehealing.com. Just put your best email address right here. Click here to get on the waiting list. You'll be locked and loaded. What you're going to get when you sign up here is a lot. We're going to get so much more coming out for you guys. Let me show you exactly what you get right here. I'm going to pull up the schedule and I'm going to pull up the value list that you get. Okay. Cause this is a 3-part service that we're bringing to the table for you folks. And, yeah, like I said, I'm so glad that I'm doing this. And I started doing this last year. And, taking a look here at today's window, you'll see the first explanation here. So this is going to give you 15 virtual workshops on Zoom that focus on inner game topics over 2023. Okay. So what this is we have a bunch of meetings on Zoom. Okay. And there's a topic. And then after the topic, we are going to be jumping right into the Q&A session where we're going to answer all the questions that you have about self-esteem, feeling good about yourself, family problems, whatever the case may be, forgiving people in the past, all these things, because these things are the most important things for you to get to where you want to be in life. Okay. A lot of people push off their mental health and push it off and push it off, push it off, and eventually they snap and break. I do not want that happening to you. Okay. And that is eventually going to happen. This life is not just this big rose colored, delusion that a lot of people think it is, right? You have to get this stuff sorted out, especially if you want women. If you want women, this is the number one thing to get yourself sorted out with, okay? We're going to give you access to experts in inner game as well. We're going to help give you the help that you need. I'm going to provide you upon sign up with a video guide on how to practice good mental health habits. And then we have a Telegram chat with over 250 members supporting you with your inner game issues. It is only $397, and this gives you membership for the rest of the year. Okay. That's less than $100 a month. Dude, some of you guys spend $100 a week on marijuana. Okay. So name your vice. Booze, $100 a month. Marijuana, $100 a month. OnlyFans, all that nonsense. Okay. A lot of you guys are indulging in that. And that stuff is destroying you. This is something that's going to heal you. This is going to edify you and make you a better man, because you can't have a good life if you're not sorted mentally. Eventually, you'll sabotage that. And we talk about that and so much more. Okay. So go to innergamehealing.com, get on the waiting list, and then we're going to send out the email to get you guys locked and loaded. And the schedule is getting better and better. Okay. So I'll show you right now as well. We have a schedule here prepared for you folks. Take a look real quick here. Okay. This is the schedule we have right here, and that is the Inner Game Healing Endure. So Justin Mark is going to be launching us off with letting go to move forward. That's day 1. Okay. Day 2 is going to be me. It's not, we haven't updated it. My graphic artist is asleep right now, I guess. And so we are going to be talking with me, MLD. We're going to be an open panel Q&A, because I realized I really wanted, Justin Mark asked me to open the ceremony, so he's going to open it. But then day 2, we're just going to really have an open panel for you guys to talk about everything, get all your questions answered. It's just going to be an open panel. Excuse me, open panel Q&A. Okay. Day 3 is going to be inner masculine, how to get unstuck in life. Day 4 is going to be apex mindset. He's going to be talking about military secrets on controlling your emotions. Dude, this guy is literally special forces, guys. He is literally special forces. Okay. And day 5, it will be Wraith. He's going to be talking about that. Okay. So keep that in mind moving forward here. All right. They start at 9 p.m. Eastern. They will be recorded, and they'll be privately uploaded to the Telegram chat for you to watch on replay. So we got a bunch of things going on here that's going to be for your benefit and your benefit only. So go to innergamehealing.com. I'm going to put the banner on right here so you guys can remember. Innergamehealing.com to get on the wait list, because June 29th, we're opening enrollment. And that's what we're doing here. Okay. Icarus says, John, did they ban your Twitter again? Yes, they did. I made a joke on there because somebody was saying something, and I was like, somebody should hit you with the champagne bottle, like, as a joke. And they're like, oh, you're inciting violence. I was like, oh my God, I'm inciting violence by making jokes on Twitter. Oh, just like, Jesus Christ, mate. Jesus Christ. So I'm appealing it right now. We'll see what happens. But it's just exhausting when you get banned all the time. I'm like, oh my God. I just have to be just milk toast fake person. I don't know. But anyways, it is all good. I shall endure. I'm going to push forward. I'm going to make it happen. Okay. So anyways, greetings from merry old London. I'm exhausted today. I had a really early, very early training session today at this boxing gym. Good Lord, man. This guy was training the crap out of me. This guy's a great guy. His name's Monet. Okay. Man, it was good stuff. It was really good stuff. For you guys to have questions and stuff, I'm going to be go ahead and talking today. If you have a question you want me to divert me, just please send a super chat. That's just the most effective way, because I really want to convey this message efficiently today, because it's really important. Okay. Really, really, really important. Okay. Because this is something that I've noticed online with a lot of people. Because a lot of men come to the male self improvement space here. Okay. Um, and they come here because typically they've been hurt. They've been emotionally hurt. They've been traumatized in some way. And they they're coming from a place of bitterness. They've been done wrong. Somebody has hurt you, right? When that joke "who hurt you" is, I mean, that's kind of, there's a lot of fucking truth to that joke, like the "who hurt you," right? And we're gonna talk about that because it's it's so important for you to forgive people. Now, let me make this very clear. I am not saying you need to forgive people and forgive bad people so that they can come into your life and hurt you and damage you again. Because some of you guys are too forgiving. Okay. There's two sides to this coin. Some of you guys forgive too much and you keep getting taken advantage of and bad things happen to you. Okay. That's not what I'm saying either. Okay. And you might be thinking at home, "Oh, well, I don't want to forgive this person because they did me so wrong." Forgiveness is not for the person, okay? Forgiveness is for you. And the number one person you have to forgive in your life is yourself. You have to forgive yourself for your mistakes, okay? You have to forgive yourself for whatever kind of inadequacy you may be blaming yourself for, okay? You absolutely have to forgive, gentlemen and ladies who are watching, right? You have to forgive. I see so many people online, right? And they're so hurt and they're so filled with anger, right? I've learned that the comments, because I've been, I have to deal with comments recently, and let me tell you something. It's been a nightmare since this whole baseless attack against me, and I know they'll subside eventually because the truth always prevails. Okay, and the truth always comes out, guys. Like, you can't doubt that. I have a pimple right here. It's like under my skin. It hasn't popped up yet. It is so annoying. It's like driving me crazy. Um, but you know, you have to forgive, and here's why. Okay, this is a great analogy that Ryan from Inner Masculine, who is a leader in the Inner Game Healing Summit, he came up with this and he told me this, and he learned this from a really wise woman. And he said that when you hold anger, okay, when you hold resentment, when you hold on to bitterness, when you hold on to these things, okay, when you don't forgive somebody, that is like you drinking the poison and wishing for that person to die. I'm going to say that again. When you hold resentment, when you hold bitterness, when you hold anger in your heart, all right, that's like you drinking the poison and you hope the other person dies. Okay, sorry, I just have to address this. So Ivy says he didn't come up with that. Listen, did you not miss me like less than a minute ago when I said a wise woman told him that? Is this uh I'm almost at the point where I'm just gonna stop reading the chat. Harambe is in the house, 199. We love you, MLD. We see you working. Thank you so much, Harambe. Yeah, exactly. Remember the IQ thing. Trust me. Trust me. Okay. Shout out to Red Pill Crip. He says, "ML, don't worry about it, MLD. I needed to hear it." Okay. Yeah. Forgive me. Good call. I do. I do forgive you. Okay. So that's the thing, guys. Okay. Because there is a lot. Okay. We need to talk about everything real quick. I'm sorry. I'm going to put my legs up and I need to get comfortable because I got to deliver a message. I'm dropping the heat right now. Okay. So, right. As I said in the commercial, okay, I am not in this for clout. I am not in this for notoriety. Anybody who's close to me, my editing team, the guys in the Masculine Empowerment Network, Inner Game Healing, all the leaders, I am not one of these people who need to clout. Okay. I, dude, I told you I was eating the other day at a restaurant and a guy's like, knock, knock, knock. Hey. And I'm like, bro, that's creepy. And no disrespect to that guy. No disrespect to him. But it's like, I was just, uh, I was ashamed of where I was eating. First of all, full transparency, guys, I was eating some fried chicken at KFC. Busted. So I was eating some fried chicken in the window, just yum 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 yum. And this guy like duk duk duk, hey, you know. Um, so I'm not in this for clout, and a lot of people are. A lot of people they'll do whatever it takes to get views. A lot of people will do the nastiest shit just to get views and attention. And look, there's another thing here, right? Look, there's a lot of bad people in the world. Okay? There are a lot of bad people in the world. Okay? And they will do whatever it takes. Like I told you with this whole thing against me, you know, these people will do whatever they will lie, manipulate for money. Okay? They will absolutely do these things. And so, you know, um when you're in this situation of looking at all this stuff online, you got to remember too, just because it has a lot of clicks, just because it has a lot of views doesn't mean it's right. Okay? And this message that I have here, dude, I'll tell you this too. I am happy with a small audience. I am happy with my level of notoriety right now. There has been almost no positives to it, to be honest with you. Okay? Um and I don't need clout. Another thing is this, right? These people that like constantly need clout and they need recognition, people who need clout, dude, like I just wonder, like, did your mother not hold you when you were young? Like, why do you need clout? Like, how is your life so void and empty that the attention of complete strangers is some sort of validation for you? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand that at all. Okay. And you know, I just think that looking at the situation we have right now, there's a lot of insanity out there. And why forgiveness will not be um a popular thing, right? Is because right now, if you have to forgive somebody, that means you have to kind of, to an extent, like let them win. You think that holding on to this resentment is like, this is how I'm going to get revenge. I'm just going to hate every woman for the rest of my life. And then because my ex cheated on me or left me for some dude or blah, 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 then I'm going to get justice, right? And it doesn't work. That's not how life works. Okay. And it's not healthy for you too. All right. When you don't forgive somebody, you hold yourself back. Okay. You know what they say? Like, why are you holding on to this? Why are you holding on to it? Why? Because it's you that has to hold on to it. Okay. When you see these women on like, I'll just use the Fresh and Fit or whatever podcast, right? When you see somebody tell them something that's absolutely true, and then they can't control themselves and they like have to cut somebody off, they have to speak over the host, like they lose control, right? What you're witnessing is an individual who is psychologically traumatized, and they are literally triggered at that point. Okay? And they're triggered to the extent that um fucking they can't even control themselves. And that's because they're still holding on to the traumatizing event that happened to them. Okay? And and now here's the thing. This is not me blaming that person for what happened to them. There's bad shit has happened to me. Bad life is a series of bad things happening to you and you overcoming them. Okay? And so um when you are a person like that, you see, if you don't forgive these people and you don't heal yourself and you don't let go, this shit affects you. This makes you a bad person. This makes you bad in the sense of like you're not psychologically sound. And when you're not psychologically sound, you're more of a liability than you are an asset. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. You become more of a troubled person, a troubled individual than you actually want to be. Okay. And it holds you back because, you know, when you take the L, right? You got to remember the L is also it's a loss, but it's also sounds for lesson. Okay. Every L is a lesson. That's the real truth. Okay. And when you don't sit back and reflect on your part in whatever happened to you, you leave growth and development and power on the table. Because you have to ask yourself, okay, let's just say, for example, I'll use myself as an example, right? So I dated a girl one time, right? And when I met her, I knew she was kind of, first of all, I met her off a dating app, right? Strike one. Okay. Because typically, the majority of people, women on dating apps, in my opinion, you know, they're not the best partners, right? They're typically prone to sleeping around. They're typically prone to talking to multiple men at the same time, right? And that's a form of dishonesty. That's a form of deception. And I know modern world leads to say like, oh, well, it's her life and her privacy and her business, but no man or woman wants to go on a date with somebody and know that other person is talking to multiple suitors at the same time. Men don't want to deal with that. Women don't want to deal with that. It's not okay. Okay. So, do we have any mods in the chat that are actually on a computer right now? Because I think there's just like one troll that is like making multiple accounts and trying to disrupt us. Also, guys, smash the like button, please, because like is the most important metric for YouTube to push these videos out. I really need you guys to hit the like. If you're watching on replay, please hit the like button as well. Okay. Thank you for letting me know, Harry. I'm talking to moderators who are at computer right now. If there's a moderator at a computer right now, I need you to be on the watch here to continuously ban these people. I'm not gonna mod someone I don't know. Sorry. Appreciate you, Justin, but I need to mod somebody trusted. All right. Anyways, I'll handle the garbage as it comes through. I'm a man. I got this. But anyways, you see, so no man or woman wants to be in that kind of situation. And so when I started dating this girl, she also had in her profile like I'm yada yada feminist, right? Which is fine. I can tame the most modern crazy chick. It's just, do I want to anymore? And the answer is no, right? The ROI is no longer worth it, right? I appreciate you, Justin. No, I know who you are, brother. I just don't know you that deeply. No offense. So I got in a relationship with this girl, right? And so we started dating, and she was really good looking. She was everything I liked in a woman. She had very long hair. She had a flat stomach. She had a nice round butt. She had some great breasts, right? She was beautiful. She had thick lips. She was gorgeous, 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 gorgeous girl, right? Um, I liked her a lot. I dated her. God, dear Lord have mercy. How long did I date that girl? I dated that girl for a while now. I think about it. I dated her 1 year. I dated for a year and a year and 3 months, right? So yeah, Justin Aldrin, you're spot on. This is spot on right here. At this point, it's hard for Emily to trust anyone, bro. You have no idea. You have no idea. Right? And so when I got into with her, right, I knew also typically when you date girls who are on dating apps, in my experience and the experience based upon today's modern world, these women typically have higher body counts. And women with high body counts are not the best relationship material. Okay? They were not the best. They are not the best relationship material. Okay? It's just an objective truth. Okay? Because they've conditioned themselves to run through men rather than stick with one and work through problems and troubles that may be happening in life. And typically, high body count is a symptom of something else going on. Okay. So when I got in the relationship with her, right, I noticed that she had like I'm a feminist in her profile as well. Right. And yeah, Morgan, I'm going to leave that up there for you, our local, beautiful, young, married, good wife. Um, you know, a lot of these people, when they are taking these extreme positions in life, like feminism, for example, typically they were wronged by a man at some point in their life. And then they get to a point where they're like, oh, yeah, all men are bad. And listen, ladies and men, let me tell you something too. There are a lot of fucking bad men out there. Okay. There are some fucking dirtbag men out there too. Men are not these angels in the sky. Okay. There are also some dirtbag women out there as well. Okay. Believe me, I've met a lot of them. Okay. And so when a woman takes this like hyper aggressive stance against men, okay, that is typically a symptom of a woman who's been wronged by a man. And when I started doing a little deep dive on her, I found out that her dad cheated on her mom, and the mom still stayed with the dad in order to keep the family together. The dad was super rich and successful, and you know, he made a mistake, he cheated, and the mom stayed with him. And I've seen this too with women. They start to hate men, and then they also start to hate their mothers too, right? Because they're like, oh, my mom is so stupid because she stayed with this man, even though he cheated, and yada, yada, yada. And they hate the mother. But in my opinion, the mother stayed with the father in order to keep the family together for the children. Okay. So I'd noticed that there was a symbol of, this was like symbolic for something else going on in her life, right? But I still stayed with her. And then when I was dating her, I found out that she was just this like hyper extreme feminist, and it always caused a little bit of friction in our relationships, right? Looking back on it now, she was a decent girl, and she actually held me down during some bad times. And I mean, even got to the point like I remember one time, and keep in mind, this is a feminist, and I'm not saying this to degrade this woman either, okay? But what I am saying is that this woman was able to open up and give me some of the best of her. I remember one time I was just like exhausted. Because I work very hard. I'm a very hardworking man. And I remember one time I was exhausted, and I like slipped on my shoes, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I don't even want to tie my shoes. And she got on her hands and knees and started tying my shoes for me. And she was like, oh my God, you're so lazy, whatever. She was criticizing me, just making jokes, whatever. And I kicked her in the face. No, I'm just joking. I know that's what some of my haters want me to be saying. Shut up, bitch. No, I didn't do that. And she tied my shoes for me. And, as soon as she tied my shoes, I picked her up, I hugged her, I kissed her. I said, baby, I love you. Because I did love her. And we went out and we would go to the gym or some kind of. I remember because of my shoes that I don't buy. Let me just tell you something. Millionaire life hack: don't buy shoes that have laces. Just buy slip-on shoes. All my Louboutin shoes, all my my Louis Vuitton. So my Louis Vuitton boots, and then I just recently got some new suede boots from Saint Laurent as well, all slip on, just because I'm too rich and busy to be tying my shoes. Okay. And so um we went out and we did our thing. But there was always turbulence in the relationship. And when there was a fight, or some kind of disagreement, instead of trying to resolve it with me, she would get mad and she'd go to hookah bars with her girlfriends. But then she would always message me and be like, I'm sorry, can I come back? And I'd be like, yes, come back, let's talk. But we would always have a talk through. But there was always these a little annoyances that happened throughout the relationship, right? And so, um, you know, when I broke it off with her, part of me was angry, right? Because I was like, this bitch, I'm so angry. Why would she fucking be so difficult throughout the relationship? Why does she want to resolve things and yada, yada? But then I have to look at myself, okay? Why did I allow a woman in that I knew had these problems, right? Why did I allow her into my life? And why did I allow her to come in and get intimate parts of me and intimate access to me? I'm not just talking sexually. Why did I allow this? Right? And because it was a part of me that really wasn't fully secure with myself, fully secure with being alone, being content, being happy individual, that I kind of needed female validation. I needed women around me, right? That when a woman's around me, it just can kind of because men and women who have trouble, when you have somebody around you and they can make you feel good, it kind of takes away from the fact that you feel bad. You get distracted a little bit. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? And so that's something that you have to look at, because when I looked at that, I thought to myself, wow, there's some serious stuff going on here within me that I need help with. And I need to work on these things. And I've been working on them. And you know what's funny too? I'll tell you guys this. When I started working on my super, super, deep issues, I had a gigantic breakthrough in November 2021, right? And after I had this gigantic breakthrough with my mental health, my self-esteem and stuff, dude, I'm telling you, my sexual thirst for women took I'm not even joking, a 50 to 60% drop. I no longer needed to be around these women. It was two parts, right? One, I had forgiven myself and I had tried to figure out what was going on, right? Instead of just hating this girl and just being a hate-filled individual and holding on to resentment, right? I was able to cure myself of that. And then two, now when I meet other women that are looking attractive, that are looking sexy, right? But I see certain behaviors that I know where these behaviors lead, I automatically get turned off by them, right? Because I know where it's going to lead me. Does that make sense to you guys? I know where it's going to lead me now, and I'm immediately turned off. A shout out to Rami Faze. My dream is to live in Japan. I'm currently in a bachelor, which provides me with an internship. What jobs do Japanese people want from foreigners? I mean, they want coders. They want you get your foot in the door as an English teacher. They need recruiters. I'll tell you this: working in Japan is tough. It's tough, man. If you can get a nice cush English teaching job, but the salaries are pretty rude for foreigners. Japan is actually not known for good high salaries. A lot of these people are they're working for pennies, bro. They're working for pennies, and so it can be a struggle. your best bet is to go out there. You could work in a university. These universities pay really good. Or you can get into different industries. There's the modeling industry. You're gonna have to hustle. In any city like Tokyo, whatever, you're gonna have to hustle. It's not impossible. I did it, right? But you just have to make sure you're a valuable individual. Like, what are you getting your degree in? Let me know. Okay. Um, Kevin Lopez says, "Yo, MLD, I'm not the greatest looking guy, but I'm in shape, have style, past 6 figures a year. I'm probably a 7, 8. Should I still go for tens? You go for whatever you want, but I'll tell you this: when you go for tens, make sure she's a 10 that's sound inside. Because when you want to date a 10, you have to be really mentally sharp, and you have to be really secure in yourself to date a beautiful woman. Because there's always going to be men after her, and you're going to have to understand frame. Okay. Kevin, what I would recommend is go to modernlifedating.com, book a one-on-one with me, sit down with me on a call, and let's talk and hash this out. Especially if you're making money, my consultation rate would be no problem for you. In addition to that, I'm a guy who has made, I'm doing okay. I'm not going to go into the details of how well I'm doing. I'm doing very okay. And I'll just say that there's a certain way to handle yourself, and I can tell you about how to do it. And then another thing is this too, right? And keep in mind, this is not a diss against you. This is not a diss against women. But in my opinion, okay, guys that always want to go for hyper beautiful women, super super beautiful women, okay, that's usually a reflection of something going on inside you that you're kind of overcompensating. That you feel like you need the best of the best of the best. Okay. Now listen, don't get me wrong. I love beautiful women. I hung out with a woman the other day who was a literal 10 in Miami. This woman was like, bro, she was like race queen beautiful. And I was like enamored by her beauty. And more importantly, I was enamored by her mind and how she was talking to me and just how we just connected and we're just clicking so well. Um, you know, so don't just be looking for beauty, okay? Beauty is overrated. Okay, beauty is extremely overrated. It is good to have a beautiful woman with you, don't get me wrong, but if she is crazy or has some like mental issues or some kind of liabilities following her around, no woman is worth it. No man, business relationship partner is worth it either. It's not worth it. You know, it's really, really, really not worth it at all. So do me a favor, Kevin. Go to my website, book a one-on-one with me. We'll talk. I'll handle it. I got time here in London. We can get you in this week. So keep that in mind. Remy Faz, on a scale of 1 to 10, do you recommend Japanese women? Yeah. If they come from a good family and she wants to be a good domestic wife, yes. That's like a So here's my critical analysis, okay? Right? My critical analysis is this. For me, the only downside to Japanese women is 2 points, okay? One, they're typically shorter, and I want to have taller children, okay? So I'm 5'10", so if I get a girl that's like 5'4", our kid's gonna be lucky 5'8", 5'7", right? It's fine because height's not everything. But I do want big, strong children. And then number two, and this one's tricky, and this is hard. This is hard for a lot of people to stomach, right? But if a guy doesn't have a lot of experience with women, okay, there's a certain thing that happens in Japan with women, okay? When women are rejected by Japanese men and like the Japanese society kind of rejects them, something's typically wrong with this woman. And then what they'll do, because from a socioeconomic status and like a cultural hierarchy status, the alpha males, the creme de la creme in Japan is the Japanese male. Japanese man is at the top of the totem pole, right? And then when she can't lock one of those guys down, then she typically goes to the foreigner pool. And my experience with these women who go to the foreigner pool is there's something usually off with them, right? And you'll see that happen. A lot of older women will snag up younger guys, right? And then these guys have trouble and problems in relationships down the road. So you want to keep in mind with that. But other than that, if I had to recommend Japanese women, 7, 8. If you find a tall, beautiful one with a good family, you're in 9, 10 category right there. Harambe says, "Can you give a breakdown of quality UK women?" I'm biased. I like white women. There's a lot of good looking white women out here, but I haven't really dated them. British people in general are really nice. These white British people are so lovely. They're so nice and well mannered, and it's just very easy to talk to them. Very pleasant, and they're very well mannered individuals. I love these people. I just love it so far. Now I've only been here I've been here a week and 1 day. Okay, so there's that. And so, there's that. Okay, but anyways, so when you're in this when I was going with this girl, right now I was able to look at myself and realize, okay, now I was able to forgive her because I was bitter at first, right? And I forgave her, and then I realized what's going on with me, and then now it gets to the point where if I see a woman with red flags, it's like it's really hard for me um to get any kind of arousal or attraction off of that. Like maybe sex, like 1 or 2 times, 3 times, until I'm like, kind of the newness of the rush is over. Like I've already won and I've had sex. You know what I mean? But other than that, it's just going to be really hard for me to tolerate anything because now I'm in a position with my brand and my notoriety that I have a lot more to lose now. Everybody says they want clout, but you really don't want clout, okay? At all. It's the ROI is negative, in my opinion. It is not. Mm-mm. No, no, no. So you have to start thinking smarter and more strategic, and that's another thing too, right? For you guys, I'm going to go off on a little of a tangent here, but when you are in a situation where, let's say you're a guy, because a lot of people say like you don't need to focus on game, you don't need to focus on this because you know once you have status and money and all this, the women will come to you. But it's the bad women, the majority of the women that will come to you. They're not there for the right reasons, right? They have ulterior motives. They have an agenda, especially when you have resources and stuff like that. Okay. So that's a trouble that can bite you if you're not smart enough to suss out what's a good woman, what's a bad woman, who's genuinely interested in you, who's genuinely disinterested in you. And that's another thing too, because like when I saw the the girl who was a 10 in Miami, and like she was giving me the signals that she was interested, and I was just like, I was kind of like, is this happening right now? Like I was kind of like, because I was just on Fresh and Fit, like being an animal, and I was just like, huh? So then I started, just going through the ropes. I was like, wow, this chick is like genuinely wants to get to know me. I was like, okay, cool. And then that's another thing too, when you're like with a really beautiful girl and she starts giving you like the fake interest or like the stuff that you can kind of see through, then you're like, oh, look at this little sneaky devil. This one thinks she's gonna get one over on me, right? And they've been talking about that forever. Elvis Presley wrote a great song, right? It's called Devil in Disguise. You ever hear that song? He says, "You look like an angel." He says, "Looks like an angel, walks like an angel, talks like an angel, but I got wise. You're the devil in disguise," right? And so, you know, that right there is something that is very important for you, like, because a lot of these dudes who get bamboozled, a lot of these dudes who get, oh, look at you, Aaron Calera's in the house. Hey, Aaron, congratulations. Look at you. You have been doing YouTube way longer than me, and now You have officially caught up to almost 50% of my subscribers and about 10% of what I earn online. Congratulations, Aaron. You're gonna get out. You get out there and you be somebody, big guy. I love you so much, Aaron. Good to have you. Thanks for that $2, big guy. I love you. Love you. Uh, Rami Faiz, €5. She says was looking to, or he says was looking to work in uni, but they leave you after 4 years. Should I stay in Belgium and build capital? Shoot for the stars. Shoot for the stars, my son. Shoot for the stars. Okay. But yeah, so when you are, in these situations where the women are genuinely interested in you because you're sharp, you can understand this is somebody's interested in me versus not, right? And again, you get that sharpness, you get that intelligence by forgiving people, forgiving the people that hurt you in the past. Let go because that shit kills you, and that shit manifests when you have internal hatred, when you have internal strife, okay? And everybody, you're just like constantly just living like in vengeance mode against this one person who spited you, dude. That's not good. And when you have this anger and you have this resentment and shit in your head, you have to start to want to release it one way. I mean, that's why people turn to drugs. That's why people turn to alcohol abuse, right? A lot of people, they abuse alcohol because they want to forget all the people who wronged them because they're still holding on to it in their heart. That shit ages you, and I believe too. And then this is going to sound woo woo, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. When you hold on to that resentment and you hold on to that nastiness in you, it manifests in sickness. It manifests in disease. It manifests in so many bad, evil ways that kill you. You know, so you have to, okay, you have to absolutely, you know, let go. You got to let go. You got to forgive them, and you got to move on. Okay. And there's a lot of people, and this is, I'm not gonna call anybody out, but I'm kind of indirectly gonna call people out. You'll see. This is not. Just want to make this very clear. This is not a call out, right? But bear with me what I'm about to say. Okay. So, when you don't forgive people, right? A lot of people too, you know what they do? They start social movements. I know a lot of people, there's a lot of YouTubers out there, right? That a woman wronged them and then they start a YouTube channel. And then they're like, oh, all women are garbage. Women are hoes. If like, it's only a matter of time before she cheats on you. And it's like, dude, this is not the case. Like, you're trying to tell me all women are cheating whores? That's statistically impossible. Like, there are good women out there. Like, my mom is a good woman. My mom is a good person to her husband. There are good women out there. I don't know, Allie's still here. But she was in the chat earlier, Real Femme Sapien, right? Dude, she is a good wife to her husband. And I know both of them. I know their relationship well. She's a good wife. Like, there are good people out there. So you can't just be holding this hatred, this ill will towards people, because at the end of the day, you're drinking the poison. You're the one that is drinking the poison, hoping for them to die. How many women, and that's for me, like, if you've been watching on the on Pearly show, I've been on Just Pearly Things, right? And so with Pearl, we talked about like what's a big, like, hard no for you if you're on a first date with somebody. And if a girl starts talking to me about her ex-boyfriend at any time during the relationship, I'm like, okay, she has not healed. She has not let go. And if I'm seeing this on day one, what am I going to see on day fucking 92? Right? And for me, then I'm like, okay, check, please, gotta go. Like, we can have sex, but I'm never gonna talk to you again, right? That's about it. That's where I am right now, and that's the truth. A lot of the MGTOW movement, the black pill movement, right? A lot of these guys hate their mothers. They hate their mom, and so they hate all women because their mom treated them bad. Okay. And same thing with a lot of these women, a lot of women who have these movements of like hating men, right? Like, they hate men because they were done wrong by a man. But again, if you don't forgive and you don't take accountability for your part in that, because no matter what people say, you do have a part in it. No relationship is 100% somebody's fault. And I know, but that's not a very popular thing that a lot of people want to hear. That's very, very true. There's a lot of people that don't want to take responsibility for what went wrong in their lives. And what happens? If you don't take responsibility, guess what happens? You hold on to that angerness, it fucks you up. And guess what? You make the same mistake again. And then now you're caught in this cycle. You know, when we talk about it in the church, right? They say like, oh, there's a demon following this person. There's a generational curse following this person. No, it's generational stupidity. It's a broken parent passing on their broken ways to their children, and the brokenness continues. It's a cycle of being broke. It's a cycle of abuse. It's a cycle that doesn't get undone until the person heals. They take accountability for what's going on, and they level up and they move on. Does that make sense to you guys? Real quick, I'm going to read some super chats. Harambe's in the house. $4.99 super chat. MLD, you're looking slimmer from last tour. Inspired me to hit the gym right now. Do it. Shout out to Afi Kingdom. $5 super chat. Sending you blessings and positive energy. I have you my prayers. Thanks so much. I'll hit you up after this, buddy. We're overdue for a call. Let me know if you're available. Just send me a $100 super chat if you're available, Afi. But I'm gonna ping you on Instagram or something. We're due for a chat. We're due for a catch up. But yeah, so that is extremely, extremely true. You got to break the cycle, okay? And so you have to let go, because there's so much red pill content. There's so much MGTOW content, right? All this shit that out there is just, it's toxic. It's toxic, and it destroys you, right? You know what they say? Like when you go looking for revenge, make sure you dig 2 graves, right? Because you're probably gonna have to bury yourself there as well. Like it just looking for revenge never works out. Okay, are you a troll? This got to be a troll. This Ivy person, they just updated their photo. You see how sharp I am? What's your Insta? I couldn't. Hot dude life. And if you don't look like this, you don't send me a selfie of you doing like this on my Instagram, hot dude life, you're getting banned. Okay. And you have 2 minutes to pull that off there, Ivy. 2 minutes. Okay. 2 minutes, Ivy. Updating your, I don't know, this is kind of sus. Updating your photo real quick. Hot dude life. HOTDUDELIFE. Send me a selfie right now. I don't trust you. See how fucking traumatized I am. But yeah, and that's an unpopular opinion. Send me your selfie there, Avi. Prove to me you're real. Send it now. I got my spider sense is tingling. That you're a fraud. It might be Billy. So that's a big part, because when you, like I said, you just hold on to that resentment. Resentment is corrosive. Okay, it'll eat you from the inside out, and it just holds you back. And honestly, if you really want to get revenge on that person, forgive them. Okay, forgive them. Move on and live a happy life. You kidding me, bro? Like, they're like, for example, right? I'll show you an example here. So I'm over here in London, right? And I always tell you guys, if you want to build a high value Instagram, anytime you are out and about in the city doing your thing, okay, what you can do is go book a photographer and get some good photos done, do a photo shoot. And then when you're done doing the photo shoot, you can update your photos and, have nice photos for your Instagram, and continue to build like a database of like high quality photos that shows people that you like know how to live a good life, right? So like I'll show you something. For example, like I did a photo shoot. I did 3 photo shoots so far here, right? And instead of like sitting around and be bitter about all the chicks that may have wronged me in some way, or be bitter about some nonsense, be bitter, angry, all that, right? I'm just out here seeing the sights, taking good photos, living my life, making money, having a blast. Right here, I'll show you one of the photos. Look at this, dude. This photo here, this photographer is amazing. This photo I got from my photo shoot. When was this photo shoot? This photo shoot was, oh man, this is quick, dude. Wow, he's fast. Actually, yeah, this photo shoot was yesterday. God, I'm freaking. Look at this. Okay, take a look. Look at this. See, bruh, is that not Pimp Daddy of the Year? Look at this photo shoot. Look, I personally love this photo. This photo is going on my Instagram. I mean, the suit. The only thing, if I'm going to be hypercritical, is like my tie. I was walking when I was doing this, so my tie was shifted. My jacket shifted a little bit, so it looks like the tie's off center, but the tie is clipped. It was the jacket that was moving. Okay. Um, but I love this photo, and when I post it, right, it's going to look good, and I'm going to attract other women into my life, and I'm going to be looking pimp daddy, bro. This is a tailored suit. If you're a high value guy and you got some money and stuff, like this is stuff you can do to like go around and travel the world and show like a good database of photos on your Instagram, and then it does really just add to your overall attractiveness on the dating marketplace, right? And so that's just the thing that I've been doing, right? So you could sit there, like I said, and be angry and I'm so spiteful and I hate Max. No, like forgive them, and move on. And then when you're able to move on, right? Then from there, you'll be able to fucking, be, oh, wow, you are real, Ivy. Oh, you're cute too. Look at you. All right, you're a real person. You are cutie. All right, you can stay. I'm not going to ban you. You have a very cute nose and you have nice lips, good skin. Look at you. Good for you, Ivy. All right, you're real. I'll give it to you. So, like when you are, again, when you're holding on to that resentment, it's just, and also this too, when you're, no, I'm not going to show her because she doesn't want me to show you guys. Okay. But when you are in your head and hating on this person, you're also, what's happening is where you're taking up valuable space in your brain, where you're holding on to like this hatred and this anger in your brain, where you could be doing something else with that mental space. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? And again, I want to make this very, 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 very clear that it is not to forgive somebody so that you can be taken advantage of you can go back out there and be a misused or mistreated or abused in any form, whatever. Okay. That's something you don't want to do. You want to forgive them and then move on. Learn from it and move on. Because here's another thing too, right? And I've told you guys about this. I after I had like the massive clearing of trauma and stuff in my life, since then, nothing has really changed about me, right? I'm pretty much the same guy, but like the quality of women that I'm attracting now, it's through the roof. It's mind blowing because like a lot of guys think like when you get older, like oh you're when you get older, guys do have a wall too. I want to make that very clear. Men do have a wall. It's just like we're not like these infinite attractive things, right? Men do have a wall, okay, but at the same time, like if you clear your inner shit out, I believe we give off these sub communications to an extent, right? And when you're unhealthy, you give off these sub communications that I'm unhealthy. And so you're going to kind of match more with unhealthy people Justin Mark told me something, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense. He said that when you meet somebody who you have instant chemistry with, you should run because your traumas are matching. And that's what you're feeling. Like your traumas are matching. And honestly, in my experience looking back on that now, it's so true. It is so fucking true. It's terrifyingly true. Okay? And another thing is this too, like when you guys feel this instant love, or like a woman quickly loves you and loves on you quickly and submits to you quickly, that's a red flag. That's a huge red flag. Healthy women, mentally healthy women, bro, it takes time for them to fall in love with you. Okay. And a mentally healthy woman will hold herself back because she'll be like, I don't want to give too much to myself to this man too quickly, even though they want to. Okay. That's a big thing too. Okay. Very, very, very true thing there. All right. But guess what? When you're a mentally unhealthy guy, what are you going to want? You're going to want that validation. You're going to suck it up quickly. Okay. You're going to slop that up with the quickness. Why? Because you can't give yourself that validation. So again, forgiveness is about getting mentally healthier yourself. Okay. Forgiveness is not, you think forgiveness is for the other person. I don't want to give that other person anything. I'm going to hate them for the rest of my life. I'm going to this. All you're doing, you're just giving them more power over you. They're living in your head rent free. Why do you guys think Mac the Day Gamer is still obsessed with me, bro? To this day, dude is bro. I kicked that guy out of my life 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I said, guess what? You're not good enough to be around me. Peace, loser. And he's still obsessing over me. If that's not the most feminine shit in the entire world, I don't know what is. Some of you guys may not know what I'm talking about. That's great. Trust me. But for those of you who do, you know what I'm talking about. Like, bro, move on. You're poor. Fix your poverty. Fix your poverty. Then come at me. Bro, I'll make it easy for you. Just make $100,000 a year. Do what I do in 5 days. And then I'll give you a conversation to talk to. I'll give you an opportunity to have a conversation. But until then, go back to work and think about what you've done. Reflect and forgive me, you weirdo. Leon, 15 euro super chat. Thank you so much. Since I've heard you talk about broken people, I've started looking towards the world and around me with different eyes. It's insane if you see how broken everybody is, including looking at yourself. Yes. And here's the thing, right? There's a lot of truth to that too, because the thing is this too. Back in the day, right? Nowadays, okay, people are so quick to destroy families, destroy relationships, right? And unfortunately, it is what it is in America. Like the majority of people tearing these families up are women. And so when you tear these families apart and you destroy these families, and I get it, right? I get it. It's not always the woman's fault. Sometimes it is the man's fault. I do get it. Okay. But in the same vein, you do have to realize that you are tearing the family apart and you're causing brokenness in your children. No child wants to see their mother and father hating each other. No child wants to see their mother and father tearing at each other. No child wants to see them break up. It is detrimental. Okay. I know people in their 20s and early 30s and their parents got a divorce and it sent them on a psychological downward spiral that lasted for years. Nobody wants to see that. Okay. Nobody wants to see that. So that's why you're seeing this now. We're living in this new crazy world, this selfish world, because men more than women, okay, in my experience, have a stronger sense of duty. Okay. Because that's when you have a family, it's no longer about you, it's about the children. Okay. And it's your duty to the family to keep things together. It is your duty to society to keep things going and produce healthy members for society. That's your role as a parent. So now we have all these broken people because all these families are breaking up. So there is a world like there's so many brokenness out there. Okay. There's so much brokenness out there. And so that's a big problem. Okay. That's a big problem. So what you just said there, Leon, excuse me, Leon, what you just said here is like, I see how broken people are. Me too, bro. Me too. Like when I go, okay, and this is going to be unpopular what I'm going to say, but it's pretty true. When you go, like when I go on these tours now and I go on these panels with these shows and stuff, like these women, a lot of these women are traumatized. A lot of these women who do OF and stuff like that, okay, they're not in a good place mentally. And a lot of dudes be like, oh my God, she's so sexy and this and that. And there's always another sucker around there ready to be the next victim in a traumatized woman's story. Okay. It's deep, you know. There's always somebody out there ready to take that next fucking fall. And fuck, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, but okay, yeah. So there's a lot of brokenness. But for me, when your mind is clean and healthy, you start noticing these things. And what does health do when it sees unhealthiness? Right? It runs away. What does light see when it sees dark? They repel each other. They run away. Okay. So for me, when I see these chicks and I hear their stories and I hear about this kind of damage and shit, bruh, it's too much for me, man. It's too much for me, you know? And someone in the chat says right now they don't want to admit that they're traumatized. It's not that. A lot of traumatized people don't realize they're traumatized. That's another thing. I heard that the average age somebody figures out they have trauma in their life is 57. 57, bro. 57. You kidding me? So I can look at a woman. I have so much experience with women. I can look at a woman's breast and tell you if she smokes or not. That's how experienced I am. And I could look at a woman and tell you if she's traumatized. I could look at a man and tell you if she's traumatized or he's traumatized, excuse me. Right? That's how much experience I have with women. And that's how much experience I have with dealing with traumatized people as well. Okay. And that's a big problem in this world where there's just so many traumatized people. And you can't just gym your way through trauma. You can't just, like, a lot of people just like shut up and tolerate it and blah, blah, blah. No, it doesn't work like that. Like, you have to face the trauma and you have to make peace with it. And a big way to make peace is to forgive. You have to forgive. You have to heal. You have to move on. There's no doubt about it. You absolutely must do these things. And if you don't, you're just going to continue to self-sabotage. You're just going to continue to have trouble in your life. It's not good. Guys, by the way, go ahead and smash the like button. We got 95 likes. We want to get those likes up to 120. So go ahead and push that like button right now. It's free. It's the most important YouTube metric. And if you're watching on replay, be sure to leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. What are your experience with traumatized people, and who did you have trouble forgiving, and why? Okay, because there's a lot of things too, right? With people right now, we always want to criticize women and be like, haha, daddy issues, daddy issues, daddy issues, daddy issues. There's a lot of dude with mommy issues out there too, especially in the States. I mean, the United States is the land of broken families. And why is that? Well, because you have this selfish me culture. But again, focusing on me is immature. Focusing on me is going to get you just that. me. You're going to end up alone. Okay. You know, when they talk about people too, people have a history of narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder. These people go through life and they keep using and abusing people, And guys, that catches up with you. You're eventually going to end up alone. You can't go through life burning people, because another thing is this too. You're not only burning that person, but you're finding out about people. Other people are finding out, oh, that girl burned that guy, and she burned that guy, and she burned that guy. Eventually they run out. Okay? They run out of people. Okay? And they get isolated and alone. Your shit catches up to you, especially with social media nowadays. Bruh. Are you kidding me? More and more bad things that get found out about people with the quickness. You know? A lot of people are asking me to give commentary on certain things nowadays, and it's like, did you not see the writing on the wall? Because a lot of people leave clues, man. A lot of people leave hints. You know, a lot of people snitch on themselves. A lot of self-snitching going on out there. So I know it's not popular to say this, but it's the right thing to do. You have to forgive people. And if somebody is showed that after you've forgiven them that they're not trustworthy again and they're going to keep on, like, it's one thing, for example, right? Like, let's say you're in a relationship with somebody and they lie to you, okay? And you're like, hey, I told you, don't lie to me. Okay? I appreciate you telling me the truth. Thank you so much. But I want to make this very clear that you lying to me is not okay. All right? If this person lies to you again, typically if you want to be a graceful individual, 3 strikes. Okay? I told you once, told you twice. Third time, you're out. You have to walk away. And again, that's for you. That's protecting you. Okay? For example, stealing. I thank God I don't have to deal with this in my life. Okay? You know, the thing is, like, for me, that's if you steal from me, I'm gonna fucking whoop your ass. You better not steal from me. They cut people's hands off in places in the world for that. But that's the thing. You steal from me once, you steal from me twice, and like, okay, third time it's got to go. Okay? And that's the thing. It's super true. But again, going back to the inner game, why do people stay in these situations? Well, one, they don't have rock solid inner game. They don't feel they can do better. They don't feel like they have the right to say no. They don't feel like they have the power to do these things. Okay? And another part is this. A lot of these people, they don't think they can do better, or they don't even know better is out there. Better is possible. It's not an actual logical outcome for them in their minds. They don't think it's possible. Okay? So, when you forgive, you got to forgive smartly. But how can I put this? If the infraction, if the offense, if the bad thing keeps happening again and again and again, you have to say no and cut them off, okay? Because when you do cut them off, it's a sign of growth for you too, because your subconscious mind, this is how it works, going back to inner game, right? If you stay with somebody who's bad for you, who's doing bad things to you, right? What you're telling yourself is like, it's okay to let people be like this to me. It's okay for people to treat me like this. This is what I'm worth. And your subconscious mind just says, okay, this is what I'm worth. And it starts making the adjustments, and you start down leveling as a person. You start devaluing yourself because your subconscious mind is going to go upon your actions, and it's going to make you feel how your actions are. Does that make sense to you guys? Is that too complicated? Let me know if it makes sense in the chat. Put a 1 if it makes sense. Put a 2 if it doesn't make sense. But the same thing is this subconscious mind, right? If you're like, no, that's not okay, and what you're doing is not okay, so I'm going to have to respectfully tell you, get the fuck out of my life and never come back again. With love. Okay? Then your subconscious mind's like, yeah, that's right. This is my standard. I'm not okay with this. This has got to go. That's the big difference. Okay? So, it's just extremely important for you to be understanding the root of all this stuff is forgiveness. Forgiving yourself for letting it happen, forgiving that person for letting it happen, and then moving on and leveling up and doing the best that you possibly can do in this life. Okay? Right. Yeah, this is a great point my new digital girlfriend Ivy has brought up here. Ivy, when are we getting married? I'm coming to where you live. She says, yes, when your friend is in a bad relationship and they keep going back, at some point you stop feeling bad for them. Exactly. Because it's like, okay, now you're allowing this. Exactly. You see? And you start losing. And that's another thing too. This is like why this is just a side note. This is a really good point. Okay. I want to add on to this point. You see, when you're having relationship troubles, that's between you and the person. When you go to your friends and start saying, oh, my girlfriend, she did this, stupid bitch, I'm so angry. And your friends are like, yeah, what a dumb bitch. Ugh. And then you go back to her and you're like all fucking booed up with her, right? And then your friends can be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you resolved it. It's good. And then like a month later, like, oh, this fucking stupid bitch. She did this now. Blah, blah, blah. Your friends are like, oh, damn, bro. She did it again. And then you disappear because all you got to do is show up, emotionally vomit on your friends and disappear, right? And then they're going to be like, oh, okay, they made it again. They'll get back together. Okay, cool. And then eventually, it happens again, and your friends are like, all right, bro, you're a fucking clown. Like, they won't say it, but in their mind, they'll be thinking it. Okay? So that's a problem. Okay? Yeah, exactly. And she adds on to it. See, speaking from experience, I was in a terrible relationship for a long time. And at one point, I stopped telling my friends and family because it was embarrassing and they didn't want to hear it. Yeah, it gets to a point. Okay? It gets to a point. So you both look stupid. When your girl does that too, you got to tell your girl when you're dating her, like, listen, if there's any trouble between us, if we want to have a relationship, let's just keep this between us. Like, I understand if you have to go to your mother and talk to her once in a while, but you're dating a girl and she wants to go tell the whole fucking village and post about it on social media and all this stuff. And you're just like, bruh, okay, like, what are you doing? Because this is literally destroying our relationship. Like, both of you, when you go and talk on the outside, okay, you're absolutely fucking, like, you're destroying the relationship. You're destroying everything that you guys have done together. Okay? So that's a problem, right? Okay? That's a big, big, big problem. Okay? Huge problem. And you're killing the very thing that you love, which is the relationship with you and with your partner. Okay? And relationships are not all rainbows and sunshine all the time. Okay? There's going to be times where you are having trouble and you're going to need to work through it. There are going to be a lot of those times. There are going to be a lot of great times too. But great times, guess what? You're not like running to your friend like, oh my God, I'm having a great time. Woohoo, life is good. Praise Jesus. No, you're like just, enjoying a good time. But when you have a bad time, you got to go fucking trauma dump on all your friends. And then that, messes up the relationship with your friends because they're going to lose respect for you. And then it's going to fucking cause trouble with you and your girl. And then everybody gets in trouble and damaged because you're emotionally immature. Do you want to be doing that in life? Okay. I hope not. I hope not. Because it's not a good thing. So that is what we're talking about here today. And I'm telling you guys, if you like this deep conversation, we go far more deeper in the Inner Game Healing Summit. So again, don't forget, we've got the Inner Game Healing Summit going on in June 29th. It's funny. I made 3 mistakes, or 2 mistakes too. It's all right. Forgive myself. So go to innergamehealing.com, put your best email address in here, click here to get on the waiting list. We have like close to 50 people that are new and signed up on this. It's going to be a huge hit. I know it is. It's going to be fantastic. So again, I want to say thank you guys so much for being part of this today. I know the streams have kind of been sporadic. It's just bear with me on the London schedule. It's just wild. I'm working over here. I'm trying to show up and deliver content. I went and bought a microphone when I'm here. I bought an Ethernet adapter because the internet here is terrible. We'll be back in the saddle June 28th. So endure with me. As June 29th, launch day, we'll be back in the home studio in Tokyo. And that's going to do it for us today. Don't forget, hit that like button and leave a comment for me. Just tell me about your situations, about forgiveness, forgiving those who hurt you, and how you overcome these things. So until then, I'll see you guys next time.